Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to put together November Stamp Club cards. So this is the third card. There's always a third card in there that I make for you that comes complete, and so you know I use the Eden's Garden. It's one of those early release bundles or suites from Stampin' Up. So if you have any questions about my swap, look how pretty it is on the inside, just a little leafy there. You let me know, I'll answer the questions. But that was the extra card that I just send in your kit. And then we're gonna make these two kits here. But before we get to the cards, I apologize, we have to talk a little bit of business. So make sure you watch your mail. I'm gonna cover up my address. I don't know if it matters or not, I'm not very, but anyway, your Stampin' Up! Catalog from the January to June 2022 catalog and celebration is on its way now. It's going to look like this when it comes in the mail, so be sure and watch for that. And out of that, we're going to have to pick a bundle for January and February. Now, with the new catalog coming in, I hope you realize that this mini catalog that we've been using forever is going out, and there's a bunch of stuff in here that is going to be, well, most of the stuff in here is not carrying over, it's going bye-bye. But some of it, and you can see here, like I've marked my catalog, some of it is continuing on, that's what the yellow mark is for, and some of it will just be in the winter mini catalog in 2022. So for like the next winter Christmas kind of catalog is when, for instance, these snowflakes will be back, but they're going away for now with this catalog. See, same thing with the gold leaves are coming back, as is the designer series paper. So there's, oh, and all of these will be continuing on, but the rest of it won't. So if you have any questions about the discontinued list or the carryover list, be sure and let me know. And then when the new catalog comes, like I said, we need to pick a bundle for January and February. And there's several punch bundles that we could use. I'd really like you to look at the leaf punch bundle because that's what I'm leaning toward. But we'll probably have a meeting or a quick Zoom get together early January and talk about what we want to use, so that way you can get it ordered for your January order and have it for January club. There's my business. Like, if you have any questions though, you can always call me, let me know. I'm right here. Okay, so let's go on to our cards. We're gonna start with this card here, which is the gray packet. And I'll tell you what, I've done all the work, and so these are going to be some of the quickest cards that I think we've ever made. But on the die cut pieces here, and I should have done this in advance, doggone it, I didn't think about it, but we need to get all those little pieces out of here. And they're all nicely die cut, they just need to be convinced that they're not part of the club. Sorry, little pieces of paper, or part of the card, they're trash. And this is the one that takes so long, these little trees. And well, you'll have to either fast forward or maybe I'll just keep talking. So you know this is the cabin bundle. It's really popular in the mini catalog right now, and it is not carrying over. The designer series paper like this here is absolutely beautiful, not carrying over. I don't think the designer series paper will last long. And I know right now it's not orderable, but they're supposed to get another like 5,000 packages in. Although don't quote me on that, I could have my number wrong, but I have a feeling that when that comes in, it's gonna be gone. So you wanna order the stuff, the designer series paper, as soon as possible if it's on your wish list. Okay, there we go. And then I got all the little pieces out in my cabin. So the first thing we're gonna do is stamp. And now I told you in my video, I'm going to use this Christmas to Remember. I'm gonna use this Merry Christmas stamp right here with some real red ink. So I'm gonna just ink him up while he's nice and flat and stamp that. I gotta practice once, although I just finished Club on Zoom, which we had a good time making our cards. There we go. But you always gotta practice one time before you take the chance. And stick my head in the camera here real quick and stamp that Merry Christmas right there in that real red. Boop, and looky there. Beautiful, Kathy. Thank you. Okay, and then while I have my stamp out, I'm gonna go ahead and do the inside too. So here, and in that same stamp set, there's the words that say, love and joy come to you and may last the whole year. I really like that one. So I'm gonna stamp that in red right here. This is the inside or the basic white. This is shimmer white that I cut with those dies from the bundle of the cabin. Oh, look how pretty that turned out. And then I'm going to cheat because I know I told you in your supply list that we were going to use red and early espresso, but I'm going to bring in, whoops, some basic gray here. And this is a stamp from the cabin bundle, which I'll show you. It looks like this. These little 3 right here that also have a die that cuts them out too. And I'm going to ink up just those 2 trees here and stamp them right there. See, and I think now that is beautiful. For the inside of my card, I couldn't resist. Okay, so let me show you real quick in the bundle, because this is really popular one and everybody's bummed it's going away. And now, oh, there's the dies. So it has all of these, I call these 2-step dies, where it does like the inside or it cuts out the trees here. Same with the cabin. You can either cut the cabin like we did here, or you can stamp it here and cut it out with that long piece. And the fox does the same thing. So that's what those dies look like with the stamp set. And like I said, they are not carrying over to the next catalog. They'll be gone when this catalog dies, and that's, or goes off, and that's January 3rd. If you have any questions, or I'm going to keep talking to you, let me know, and we'll move on. I'm going to go ahead and just take this piece and put it on the inside of my card so I don't lose it. You know how I am. I'll be looking for it later this way. When I'm looking for it, let me know it's on the inside of my card, because I might be looking for it again. Okay, put that down. And then on the front here, this designer series paper needs to be attached there at the top. And now I'm going to use my Stamparatus base just because I think it's easier, maybe a little bit faster. Make sure my card opens this way. So I'm going to put the fold up here at the top, making, again, this is the front. Put a little bit of adhesive. And I'm going to make sure I get these corners up here. And then I'm going to take this, and I have that in the corner here, and it's a lot easier to match up your paper when you just match it up like that. Look, beautiful every time. And now I did do it the right way on my card. Okay, I'm not going to put this too far. We're going to need this again. But then with this cabin, we have the gray cabin here and the white cabin that we stamped on. I'm going to glue him. Whoops, I did not want to do that. Don't put glue, just put glue where the cabin is. What am I doing here? I put glue everywhere. Come on, Kathy. And I'm going to make sure I get these little pieces up here and this little point down here, because they're little spots like that that might get caught on your envelope when you're trying to put it into your envelope. And now, since I put glue where I didn't want it, I'm going to use my silicone mat here like this and place this onto here, and it lines up perfect. And then you have the gray, whoop, let me just mix it here, behind your house, so it just looks like a dark cabin on the inside. There we go. And I got it all like that. Okay, and then on the back of this one, I'm going to take those trees, this piece here, and just put some liquid glue along the edge down here on this part, and then attach this. I'm going to use my silicone mat again since I put glue where I didn't want it, and just put that where my trees. I'm not going to worry about this edge here like this showing here, because I can just trim that off, but I don't want this corner showing above the grass or above the snow here. So like I said, I'm going to take this and put it about there. So now we have a piece that looks like that, and then I'm going to just use my paper snips here and trim off that, and we're good. There we go. Okay, so put this way. Now I'm going to cover this whole thing back here with dimensionals, and I have some black dimensionals I think I'm going to use, but I'm going to just put some dimensionals, and not where, because you can see through the trees up here, but you can't see through the trees that are around the cabin, so I can put some dimensionals up here where those trees are, over here. But I'm going to use quite a few dimensionals so I can keep my tree and cabin part. Oh, I want one more up here, pretty sturdy. A couple more here. And then I'm going to take this piece and put it on this, the base, the card base, using my Stamparatus again. I'm going to put this in the corner down here this time because I want this to line up perfect with this one. There we go, looks pretty good. Okay, and then with those little rhinestones that I brought in, where did my rhinestones, where did my rhinestones go? My rhinestones, and put them on my snowflakes. Okay, my rhinestones are gone. Your rhinestones should be in your packet. And hang on, let me see if I set them up here. Okay, I give up. I can't find my rhinestones. Like I said, yours should be in your packet. But then last, we're going to take this little fence like this, and I'm going to just put a little bit on each side, a little bit of glue on each side, and lay that right here on the front of my card just to give it some character. Okay, and then like I said, I just put my rhinestones here on some of those snowflakes just to give it some bling. Looks like that. Okay, that's that card all done. Easy peasy, but beautiful, beautiful. Love that cabin suite. I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. Okay, let's go to the next card, and the next card looks like this. So let me find that packet, because now I can't find. See why I put that inside my card before I lost it? Because I lose everything. And as soon as the video's over, my bling is going to be right here. My rhinestones will just be waiting for me. But as it happens, they're not. Okay, so in this kit, we're going to start with all of these little die cut pieces. These things, these 3 pieces, we're going to set those aside. And we're going to start, darn it, here we go again. I got to punch out all those little pieces. And I suggest for the front of the pine cones, this is that design, the paper, the bling paper from Celebration. So you can't get any more, but we talked about that. We had to use it. But I'm going to use on the white side and punch out all those little pieces of my pine cones. And I might not get them all perfect, but it's going to look pretty either way. Okay, there's that one. And you should have 6. 4 small ones and 2 large ones. I'm going to set that aside too, that circle aside. We don't need it until it's stamp time. It's not stamp time, it's punch out paper time. Okay, there's another. And then this one. And mine might not be perfect, so I'm going to try to hurry a little bit, but you could take your time and get all those little pieces because they're all cut. But when you have that bedazzling paper or whatever it was called, it takes a little bit extra effort to get them out. Okay, that's mine are going to look about like that. Okay, and then is that all of them? That one's pretty good. This one's done. This one has a few. Okay, so now we have all of our little pieces of our pine cones. Let's move to our greenery. Now on the card, you'll notice that most of the pine cones on this green part are covered up. So if you have pieces of paper in your pine cones, I wouldn't even worry about those. I would worry about pieces in between the greenery part, and mine looks pretty good, so I'm going to just leave it as is. Gets rid of some scraps and stuff, okay? And I'm going to bring in my silicone mat and a little bit of liquid glue, and we're going to use that sponge technique. So I just got a little bit of liquid glue up there in the corner and a sponge. Now I would use my dauber. Oh, look here, I found my dauber. My sticky dauber is missing all the time because he's so sticky that, well, he sticks to everything. I can never find him. But I'm going to use my sponge. Let me get in the camera here, and I'm going to just take that glue and just tap, and most of the glue I'm going to put where the pine cones are. I just think that's a bigger space, and I don't mind if my greenery is not all totally attached, I guess. I want it stuck so it won't come off, but it doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm going to concentrate around those pine cone area. Then I'm going to take this, and now it is directional, and I'm going to lay it on here and try to line those pine cones green on green. So now it looks like that. Beautiful, right? Now let's put our pine cones together. I'm going to do the same thing on these little pieces. Some more glue here. It doesn't take much, and it'll be quick. We're going to put our pine cones together. I'm just going to kind of pat. Now, when you run the die through the dice, well, the die set has 3 pine cones, 2 little and 2 large. So I just ran it through twice, and I checked them. To my knowledge, the 2 little pine cones are the exact size, the exact same. So you don't have to worry about which is the front for which pine cone. Look, they all just fit on there nicely. Let's do a few more, and then I'm just keep talking as I put my glue on there. So there's 6 pine cones. I ran it through 2 times. Here I'm having trouble now because let's see if I got enough. Oh, I did. Anyway, there's 6 pine cones, 2 large and 4 small. I'm going to use 5 on the front and 1 on the inside. Now, if you don't want to use the one on the inside, or if you want to do whatever, it's your card, but that's what we're going to put together, and that's what I'm going to do. The large here on the large base, and we're almost done. There we go. And then here's the last 2, and I think I'm going to stick him up. What is this on my, a piece of my pine is on my sponge. Okay, there we go. And like I said, a little bit goes a long way with the Tombow glue. So then he looks like that. And then this one, right there. Now let me get this out of the way so we don't get sticky stuff everywhere. And we have our little pine cones. We have our piece here. I'm gonna go ahead and take, now if I'm gonna attach this to my card base using dimensionals. So I'm gonna go ahead and work with this piece. Now, if you want your card base to be flatter, easier to mail, I would suggest you put this now on your card base. Since I'm gonna use dimensionals, it'd be easier if this piece was all layered and put it on there. But if you're gonna lay it flat, I suggest you do it now so you work with the flat surface. But I'm gonna take this with my liquid glue again, and I'm going to just lay this right here on this piece. So it looks like that. Then on my big pine cones, same thing, I'm going to use that liquid glue and put one. Now, this is an important thing. This pine cone up here, this is going to be covered with our ornament, so I'm going to put pine cones here. And pine cones here. And then here, oops, no, not these. Nope, no, this one was, no, never mind. I'm gonna use a dimensional. What was I thinking? I just said, I'm gonna put a dimensional on this guy and lay him here. And then a dimensional on this one. And a dimensional here. Okay, so now I know for sure that this is the top of my card and this is the bottom, because we're going to put that circle right there. And I'm going to take this and put this all over on the back. Okay, and lay this on the front of our card. Look how pretty. Okay, so now it's time to stamp. And like I said, well, you should know too, this is part of a bundle. That is this stamp set and these dies that look like this. Oop, there we go. Love this bundle here. It has a sister bundle, and now these 2 bundles will be in the annual catalog, or they're carrying over, but they won't be a bundle later. So if you want them, I would suggest you buy them now and you save the 10% as a bundle. But here I have some early espresso ink, and I'm gonna take that, one of these stamp sets that says may this be a Christmas to remember and cherish, and I'm gonna just stamp it right here in my circle. Let that ink sink in. There we go. And then with the real red, ooh, almost dropped that. Did you see that? Nice catch, Kathy. I'm gonna take that real red ink and the Merry Christmas stamp, and that's what I'm gonna stamp on the inside. Let me ink that up again and just set that right down there. Beautiful. Okay, take this piece here and put this on the inside. There we go, like that. And then just add a little bit of liquid glue to that last pine cone, although I could use tape runner too. I think the liquid glue is a little bit easier, so I'm going to put it on like that and just place him right down here. And then look, it has all those colors in there again, nice and pretty. Okay, this piece here, I'm going to take a dimensional, and on the back, sticking up like this, oops, I forgot I need to tie, I see how he's off there like that, and then I'm going to tie a bow in my ribbon here. Just a simple little bow. Pull it tight. There we go, trim off those edges, those strings here, the tails. Looks like that. And then take that bow and stick it on the dimensional, so then it's all the same level and it kind of looks like an ornament now. Then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of him. And then place this right over these 3 pine cones right here to kind of look like an ornament nestled in the tree. And look how pretty, there you go, just like that. Oh, nice. Yay, really pretty card. There you go, so 2 of the fastest cards that we've made in a while. Like I said, we're gonna get together sometime. I'm hoping we could have a meeting early January so we can discuss what bundle we're gonna use for January and February. So watch for a Zoom invitation. Now, if you're interested in joining club, January would be a great time. We start a new session. It's a $30 a month order and a commitment for as many members. So if we have 5 members in the club, you'd stay in the club for 5 members. If we have 6 members in the club, you'd place an order every month for 6 months. I hope that makes sense. And then you take turns receiving the hostess benefits, which is usually $20 to $25 worth of free product every month. Okay? Alrighty, so I hope you have a great day. I hope you get your packets put together. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.